Greetings, Uncle Travelling Matt here, and welcome to a new series of videos. This time, well, I'm sitting in Sabiha Gökçen Airport in Istanbul, and I'm halfway on our flight to our destination for this summer, which is actually Bishkek. Now, Bishkek is the capital of Kyrgyzstan, but we won't just be exploring Kyrgyzstan this time. We're going to be having a little bit of a mini Central Asia trip. So we'll be going straight from Bishkek to Almaty, the former capital of Kazakhstan, then to Tashkent in Uzbekistan, and then on to Tajikistan before returning to Tashkent and then going back to Bishkek and having a little bit of explore of Kyrgyzstan. The reason we're doing it is several-fold. I mean, I'll be honest, it's not my idea to come here, but my son Thomas wanted to come, and there were some very cheap flights. So we thought, yeah, why not? One of the reasons is I long had an interest with Central Asia. I actually studied Central Asian politics at university as part of my degree. And so after university I went to live in Japan, and when I finished in Japan I took the train back to Europe. And my main reason for doing that is I wanted to have a little look around Central Asia. So we took the train through China and then into Kazakhstan to Almaty and then onwards to Tashkent. So part of the trip we're doing today I've already done. But then I had a real good explore around Uzbekistan, which is one of the stands probably with the most to see in terms of important historical buildings. And then took the train through Kazakhstan right the way up to Moscow, and it was an incredible trip. I did it with my Dutch friend. And of course what that meant is I actually missed out 3 of the 5 stands. Now the first one, Turkmenistan, is very easy to miss out because it's very hard to get in. Bit like North Korea, you've got to go on a group tour, you're shepherded everywhere by a guide. You can do it, but it's challenging. I would like to do it one day. Also, technically I have been, because when I was travelling through Uzbekistan, my train passed through a section of Turkmenistan, although we never got off the train. But the 2 that I missed out was Kyrgyzstan, because it was out of the way, and Tajikistan because at the time there was a war going on, so I couldn't go. So my main focus this time is Tajikistan. It's, aside from Turkmenistan, it's the least visited of them. It's the poorest of the former Soviet republics. It is a very poor country. It's poorer GDP per capita than Pakistan. And it's just one of those unknown countries, and it's got a bit of a dictatorship run by a guy called Ali Rahman. So we'll be talking about him later. And then Kyrgyzstan, which is one of the most beautiful, and it's actually the most democratic, the most open, and it's quite popular with trekkers. Now, I'm not going to be trekking because I had a horrific injury to my shoulder and my side and my ankle a few weeks ago, where I fell off a chair while doing some DIY, and I dislocated my shoulder. But we will be having a look at some of the scenery there, and also some of the cultural stuff. A third thing to mention as part of this trip is that we will be visiting a chap called Aziz Arizlanov. And Aziz, well, I'll tell you the full story later, but I met him by chance on my first trip to Central Asia back in 2002. We stayed friends. We've met up in London before, and he is an Uzbeki. I would say he's probably quite important in Uzbekistan. He's not a poor man, shall we say. And so we're reacquainting ourselves with Aziz. I say we because I'm travelling with my son Thomas. He's just sat there next to me. And that's that. So quite excited, a bit tired and muggy. It was a very packed, very loud flight coming over on Pegasus Airways, which is one I've not used before. It's a Turkish budget airline, but I only paid 250 quid there and back, so you can't really complain about that. So we're in Istanbul now, one of my favourite cities, but I'm not going to be seeing it all today because, well, we've got 2 hours here. A shame, because I do love this city to bits, but that will have to wait for another day. So there's going to be lots of post-Soviet explorations, also having a look at one of the least understood parts of the Muslim world, and a bit of nature, and, well, who knows what we're going to find. I'm getting a bit of corruption, a bit of dictatorship stuff. Should be fun. All travelling, man. Keep travelling.